to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan. Real money, Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Oh my God, I'm so distracted right now, Sean. I have to bring this to everyone's attention, but I don't know if you saw the interview with Michael Irvin and Odell Beckham on the NFL pregame show, but we need a deep dive on Michael Irvin's office. He looks like a lawyer mixed with a commercial actor playing a lawyer.
He's got some used car salesman mixed with a preacher in there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Anyway, making picks.
Yes. Props, your questions. Of course, we gave out over $1 million in props on the podcast. Shout out to the YouTube chat already fired up. Bernie McBurner at 6 a.m. here in Sydney, and I'm having a beer, waiting for another great day of football. Let's go, buddy.
Let's go, buddy.
Oh man,
there's nothing better than like watching football at strange hours. So I do think it would be fun to at some point in my life and maybe take in some Australian NFL action. Right? I don't know.
Yeah, no, totally, 100%. Kramer, what do we got here?
Well, we got. Do we start with first? Do we just start in the most organic place possible? Which is there's not much injury news to discuss. I think Darrell Williams is maybe one of the few things that people were questioning. But I think we just go right to first touchdown, right? I mean, first off, do we even talk about the Rams-Niners game? I'm just making fun of how the clear, more exciting option today is the Chiefs-Bengals. There are a number of Bengals fans downstairs from us right now, Sean, getting ready to take in the game. I've never seen a congregation of Rams or Chargers fans of this size in Los Angeles, but apparently the Bengals find a way to get it done.
Yeah, we're apparently right above a Bengals bar. Guys are going nuts. What else? Oh, Magic Man Blanco. Hell yeah, boys, is over 5.5 sacks a lock again today this week, gents. Which game is he talking about? Rams Niners, I assume.
Yep, he had it last week in the Rams Bucks game. We talked about how he loved that. Couldn't believe he was getting a 4.5 this week, 5.5. Look, you're making me talk about the game we weren't talking about, but the San Francisco defensive line versus the Rams offensive line mixed with the Rams defensive line against Jimmy G. What's not to love, Sean? It's chalky, but what's not to love?
Yeah. Andrew Robb is throwing out Travis Kelce 2+ touchdowns.
Okay.
I think if you're
now we're having fun.
Now I think if you're betting stuff like that, what I would do is I would bet Travis Kelce anytime, Travis Kelce 2 touchdowns, Travis Kelce 3 touchdowns as well. Because if you do have a breakout situation like a Gabe Davis, don't you want to get paid on all those?
Yeah, I mean, similar to what I gave out on the podcast, and I'll reiterate it now. But I did a Mahomes 3 touchdowns, Tyreek Hill 3 touchdowns parlay with an over on Chiefs total touchdowns of 5.5, and the Chiefs to win an onslaught -17.5. So I think you definitely, much like a DFS lineup, Sean. When you're building your bets, you're looking for correlation, maybe a double stack.
Oh, look out.
Maybe a double stack with a bring back. I mean, the same principles apply. If you think Mahomes is going to throw a shitload of touchdowns, you probably should be betting T Higgins to score a touchdown, Uzoma to score a touchdown, maybe Mixon. I mean, I'm getting excited about building some more bets, Sean.
Adrian Kennedy saying books will need Rams -3.5 and Bengals +7 here in Vegas.
What?
I'm betting both.
Sean, what happened to your public Chiefs?
Oh, the public is on the Chiefs. I mean, depending on where you look,
I'm sorry, I misread what he wrote. Yes, the Vegas needs the Bengals.
Yeah.
Really, the Vegas is going to need the Niners?
That's not surprising, or I guess that is slightly surprising, but it also. That's in Vegas, so maybe a lot of LA money is on the Rams.
So just
I'm
to
still
recap,
a little surprised.
Per Adrian Kennedy, the public is on the Niners and the Chiefs in Vegas. That's surprising. I guess proximity.
That makes sense though. I feel like just from talking to people.
Have you talked to a single square that isn't in love with the Rams? Everyone loves the Rams.
Oh, I feel like the 49ers
really?
is where most people are leaning.
You talk to more people than I do.
Yeah.
So it's probably,
to be fair, Ryan, you don't talk to anyone.
My sample size is my kids and Dick Olson.
Yeah, exactly. So Magic Man Blanco, he likes the over 5.5 sacks. I don't know. I guess if I had to pick a side, I would go over on that. I do think Bosa has a big game. I think he's going to be able to get a ton of pressure on Matt Stafford. I mean, Some of the consensus props we love the most: Matt Stafford over a half interceptions. Felt like everyone was on that.
It feels
Jimmy G under 29.5 pass attempts. I don't know what that is at currently, but if you can still get that, I just don't think he gets to 30 pass attempts. And then what was the other big one?
I mean, we liked we dabbled in some kicking when you're talking about the NFC game. We both like Robbie Gould to score. You had over 1.5 field goals. I had over 6.5 points.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I'm going to give this one back out because I'm sure people are shopping some of their the Sunday fun day props. Rams lowest scoring team on the weekend. I gave out at plus 275. Obviously, if you're picking the Niners, that's a fun way to play it because we're going to bet the AFC Championship has more points, and I'm also going to play the highest scoring team to be the Chiefs, and that's basically even money. So that was my biggest prop. So I'm kind of those are a fun way if you want to play I didn't realize I was going to be chalky this weekend all the way. But if you want to play the complete chalk this week in a different way, maybe that's how you do it. You get Chiefs money line at minus 120. You get Niners money line at plus 275.
Joe Burrow passing yards. I know I was all over that. I think regardless of the type of, I mean, maybe it is a grinded out game and they run the ball a bunch. I don't see it. I think he gets there volume wise and kind of if they're up, if they're down. We gave it out at 287.5. WinBet now has it at 289.5. I still like that a lot. I think Kramer, you gave out the Burrow and Mahomes combined for 600 passing yards prop.
That's more of a, I mean, again, just how can I bet this game to be the more dynamic modern football game highlighting great offenses?
Yeah.
I'm done hearing people's take about how last weekend wasn't football. The Chiefs Bills game wasn't football because no one was playing defense, Sean. I'm sure you've heard people say this too. Horrible take. So yeah, how do I get more money on the table for this to be a super exciting game and there to be a lot of points and the ball to move a lot? You take this one plus 150 for them to go over 600 combined.
Yeah.
You kind of have a nice, I mean, feels like a mortal lock.
mortal lock. Bernie, let's see what we got.
But really, I mean, is that not the most annoying take in the world that the Chiefs Bills game wasn't good football because they weren't playing defense?
I mean,
what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I think you're the only person who has that take is Colby. No one else. I don't
want to share names, but I listen to a few podcasts that aren't ours.
Wow.
One of them is of a famous comedian we've had on the show a couple times. They were hemming and hawing about the lack of defensive effort. I watched a decent amount of NFL. And I just think there's a lot of people who are grumpy that their teams aren't still around and that their teams didn't just hire Brian Daboll, baby. Let's go. Brian Daboll loves Danny
Josh Allen
Dimes.
had a great game, even though he lost.
Brian Daboll loves Danny Dimes.
Shank Youngblood 904 received my SGP shirt. Feel like I'm a part of the team. Let it ride. Let's go, Shank.
It's not just a feeling. You are part of the team, bro.
904. That is Youngstown, Ohio, if I'm not correct. Oh no, Jacksonville. There you go. I'm assuming
Youngstown was way harder. I like that.
Young blood. I think I just mixed it up in Youngstown, Ohio. Let's see. We got some McPherson kicking props. I think y'all discussed it, but Evan McPherson over 1.5 field goals seems unmissable. Yes, I gave that out as one of my favorite as well. Feels really good.
Quick warning: I did get a very specific text message from Cousin Mush this morning, asking about the Evan McPherson kicking props, specifically the over 1.5 field goal. So, use that information for your own use. But I just. My kicking props this weekend are all about Robbie Gould. That's it. I'm a one kicker man.
Thomas Christopher says Chiefs total 31.5. Check mark on that. Kramer, you were on. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Onslaught.
I think we tweeted out the clip, but 49ers over team total 20.5. That was one of your favorites, right?
I mean, it was my favorite. I laid down $440,000. The Niners get over 20.5. The Chiefs total. I mean, it didn't make my sheet, Sean, but everything I played is leaning in the direction of a huge win. I mean, I took them to win by 19 to 24 points at 7-1, Sean. So if I like that, I definitely like over 31.5. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same though. Like if you like Chiefs team total to go over 31.5, Sean.
Yeah.
what are the chances they do that and aren't the highest scoring team? I guess it's about the same price. So maybe that's a better way to play. Maybe I've just galaxy brained myself into a better way to have played the Chiefs just to win the game on the money line.
Cody Z pointing out Mahomes over 30.5 rush yards. Yeah, I didn't have that in my list, but I don't mind that. I mean, his willingness to run, and you saw a ton of that in the playoff game against the Bills, especially if they get down. It just seems like in the playoffs he's a very willing runner, and if they're going to keep teams, you know, the quote unquote play cover 2 or whatever, where you sit those 2 safeties back, that's usually a recipe for disaster when it comes to QB rush yards.
Look, he figured it out. Part of what he has to do when they drop back into this shell defense is he's going to have to beat him with his legs because they're giving it to him.
I mean, I made a blood oath that I would never bet Patrick Mahomes rush yards again after I got boned so hard in the Super Bowl, where I got him to first touchdown score, hit that at 15-1, and then I got the rush yards easily, and then he did 3 shotgun runs to run out time where he ran like 5 yards back. If he would have just done like 3 normal 1 yard kneel downs, I would have been fine.
That was hard.
But he went out of his way to take like 6 rush yards off at the end of the game. All time a bad beat. Jonathan Koff wants to know, do you think McKinnon over 20.5 receiving yards is good? I know Williams and Clyde are playing though. Yeah, I do like. I think to me, I like Jerick McKinnon DFS, especially in tournaments, because I think his role as a pass catcher, like he could certainly pop and catch a ton of passes. I don't know if I like betting it as like a -110 prop. You know what I mean?
I don't mind it.
Yeah,
I think
if I had to pick a side, I would go over here. But there's other stuff I like more.
The reason I don't mind it is I think the usage will be there. I think he'll be part of the offense when they're trying to get the lead. I think he'll be part of the offense even if they're up by a little. He'll definitely be part of the offense if they're down. The only situation I think McKinnon gets scary is if they're up. The situation I think, which is they're up. They get up big and go up big, and he doesn't get over in time, and then it just becomes CEH running out the clock. I mean, as we discussed when we were doing DFS, Sean, like one of the ways that you would have to play, I mean, one of the ways you'd have to play this potentially is like, what if you put both Chiefs running backs in there, you know?
Yeah.
And kind of both faded Mahomes and the receivers, but also just played them to win a huge game.
Eric, non-quarterback to throw a touchdown +1,000. I think with these 4 coaches, we have a shot. I don't mind that. A 10-1, or would you rather play like a big man touchdown? Yeah, because I think that's probably similar price. What do you think's better odds, Ryan?
Man, I think the big man touchdown has to be. It's probably, you're right. It's similar. It's probably a better deal.
I thought I saw 12-1.
Yeah, somewhere. I was gonna a little. It's got to be a little bit more, I think. But man, I think I would 100% play the non QB to throw the touchdown. I think when you have a Shanahan McVay matchup where they want to try to outsmart each other, I think you have the obvious of just variance in the first game. Like who knows what's going to happen there. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm co-signing the +1,000 here.
James Trask wants to know, does Akers have the yips? Do you think we'll see more of Michelle? I think he got 85% of the running back workload. I don't think it's going to be 0. I don't think it's going to be 85. I do think he has a reduced role though. Maybe like a 65%. So and also he's been like super inefficient. I mean, I think in some DraftKings lineups you're playing him. I think we ended up picking him in our Joe Burrow stack, but just because of the volumes there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't love him on the player props angle. What about you, Ron?
I mean, I think I played him to go under the carries 17.5, which is mildly terrifying just because they seem willing to let him continue to run into the wall. But to your point, he hasn't been all that efficient. So I'm not sure what's driving the Rams to want to play him so much, like coming back from this injury so quick. But yeah, I mean, how do you not just give Michelle a little bit more run after the fumbles? If nothing else, the fumbles.
All right, Ryan, we got some DGens only stuff coming through.
Oh my goodness.
I did. So Jonathan has a Clyde longest run 10.5 yards over, I assume. Cup over 27.5 longest reception. Higbee over 39.5 receiving yards. Uzoma over 36.5 receiving yards. Burrow over 290.5 passing yards. Ryan, of these legs, what is the weakest leg?
I mean, which one would you vote off the island?
I would kind of vote Clyde off the island, honestly.
Yeah. I like the Clyde one though, because that's, you know what, I'll take Cup. I'll say take the Cup one off.
Okay.
I think what the San Francisco 49ers did to Devontae Adams by playing combinations of like high-low and left-right brackets on Devontae Adams.
Whoa, big. Am I sitting next to a real football guy?
Some X's and O's over here. You know, but, funny enough, I'm staring at a youth soccer lineup. Nothing to do with high-low brackets there, but. Yeah, why not take? I mean, it was the most public story of the weekend, right? Like, well, how did the Bucks let Cup go? So yeah, why not? I'll do that. I'll say they play Cup to the point where maybe Beckham has a nice big day. Maybe Beckham, you play the over on the longest reception.
Okay. Interesting spin there. All right, we got another one. Kelsey anytime touchdown. Chiefs -2.5. Burrow over 250. Mahomes over 250. Chase anytime touchdown. Uzoma over 29.5. Hill over 64.5. Bengals over 16.5 points. Chiefs over 24.5. Mahomes over 24.5 rush yards. Under 63.5 points. So,
who says gambling's bad? You got to read it like a college level to get through this.
Oh my God.
Kelsey anytime.
That's the leg. I mean, I'm on the Bengals, so I would say no need to throw Chiefs -2.5 in there. And I think if you're playing this, go Chiefs -7. I don't know, right? I mean, how does all this stuff happen? The Chiefs don't cover.
I mean, I see what he's doing. He's just being safe. Honestly, Chiefs.
He's being safe.
Chiefs,
it's 60 to 1.
No. Like I think adding in Chiefs -2.5 probably isn't doing much to the bet. It's just like, you know, he wants to get that correlation in there. You know, I'll say get the touchdowns out of there. Got a weird feeling.
Yeah. So Jason Swoboda, Fly Eagles Fly fan. Burrow anytime touchdown. Yes, I like it, and I gave that out as one of my first touchdowns. But yeah, obviously I like it anytime as well.
He had a run in the last round where he just dove head first. Like that's what you want to see.
Yeah,
he's got a little Fitzmagic in him.
Burrow most passing yards +540. Chase most receiving yards +480. I mean, I really like Burrow most pass yards +540. I wish we gave that out. I definitely would have been all over that one. I don't think those were out when we did the show, but yeah, that's very doable in my mind.
It's a fun way to play the Bengals because I mean specifically the Burrow one. I think that can hit even if they lose.
Yeah, and Sean, even in a loss,
you almost need to give a shout out to the username because
DJ Madden's chip. Let's go.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
I mean, DJ Madness was a good time. All right, what else we got? Oh my god!
Oh, we got a long shot here from Richard Gersberger. Elon Musk +10,000 to win the election.
Wow, out of left field. I mean.
Certainly has the money for it.
I'll give him a vote.
Yeah. All right. Well, let it ride there.
I mean, Dogecoin was, that helped me and my pocket. So
exactly.
Thank you, Elon.
Magic man Blanco checking in.
Oh my goodness.
Brad Martin wants to know. My buck doesn't have a Trey Lance Super Bowl MVP available. What are the odds of that?
Oh, I feel like I actually saw one. Hold on.
That's got to be 500 to 1. All right, Magic Man Blanco, Burrow over 24.5 receptions, over 1.5 touchdowns, over 295.5 yards, Chase over, Pringle over, Uzoma over, Pringle over catches, and Mahomes over 33.5 rushing 20 to 1.
Kyle Juszczyk has better odds than Trey Lance. I mean, places cap it, so 500 to 1 at like the offshore places where they get crazy.
Magic Man Blanco, I don't know, at 20 to 1. You got so much stuff in there. 20 to 1. I would just find a first touchdown you like at 20 to 1.
Oh, I like what he's doing here. He's accumulating value in a portfolio form for a nice 20 to 1 expected ROI with over a 6 hour period. That's a nice. You're not getting that in the stock market, Sean. No. So, I'll say it's the Pringle one. I like Pringle to get some looks today. 3.5 receptions is a big number. That's a little scary to me.
Luke Utz wants to know, why is everyone all over CJ Uzoma? Well, I think in DraftKings especially, he's very cheap, and you get the guaranteed volume, because you look at his 8 targets, 6 targets, 6 targets, 7 targets. So it seems like he's pretty involved.
That's why
in the offense. Yeah, and
he's replaced Tyler Boyd. I mean, remember last year or going into this season, it was all about the 3 receivers. Hey, we think this offense can sustain 3 pass catching targets, and it's like, well, they can. It's just not Tyler Boyd. It's the tight end. Who we also learned his name's not Uzoma, or what do we used to call him, Sean?
Oh, I don't know. He's still CJ Uzoma to me.
Yeah, but that's not what we started calling him. We learned about it because he made a video.
What else do we got here? What do you think about Brandon Ayuk over 20 yards?
No,
longest receptions.
Not
yeah, I mean he's a fun like dark horse punt in DFS, but
I'll take Sean's guy.
I'm not touching his player props. Aaron Donald over 4.5 assists and tackles. Let me see. I'd have to pull up Donald's tackle stats. He might not be a guy that gets a ton. Although last game against the Rams, he had 7.
Against the Niners.
Against the Niners. So he had 7. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that. I do think the Rams run the ball inside, or 49ers run the ball a decent amount inside. So him getting involved in the tackling game, I don't think is crazy. Deebo Samuel, 100 yards receiving and 100 yards rushing.
It feels like a Bowser
plus 1,000. YOLO, let it ride.
I mean, honestly, I would just add in a receiving and rushing touchdown to that. If I'm building that prop, hold on. I'll
because I gave out Deebo to have a rushing and receiving prop. That's 8-1. But him to get 100 receiving and rushing yards, I don't mind that. At 100-1, you could do worse. You could do worse.
I don't mind that.
No, I mean him breaking a catch and a run in the same game isn't impossible.
Your presentation was great. You I'm gonna build the parlay we're talking about real quick.
Brad Martin saying Trey Lance is getting in the game, going to make some big plays. Can't find the Trey Lance first touchdown available anywhere. I think most places have it. You may be using a local place that doesn't have it.
Trey Lance 40-1 first touchdown, 750 anytime. I mean, maybe if you're using a local guy, he maybe he doesn't know who Trey Lance is.
Andrew Robb asking, what's your favorite drink? I'm a Jameson rocks guy, or any sort of whiskey on the rocks. And usually go beer during the day. It's a long time, so I'll maybe work in a couple whiskeys there. We're starting things off a little early on the earlier side. Jameson now has a cold brew whiskey that's kind of fun. It gets a little caffeine going early on here, and fun for Irish coffees as well. Fang Banger, Cup 2 touchdowns. Jesus. Mitchell anytime touchdown. Niners money line.
Oh my God.
100-1 stand ahead.
Okay.
That's 100-1. That seems like a great price, right?
I mean, I built. I mean, let's get back to the many bets I've already built. But I mean, I think you can play that Mitchell onslaught, right? Like I played a Mitchell 2 touchdown, Bosa 2 sack situation. Man, those odds. I'm getting 100 on mine. I have the Stafford 1 pick, Bosa 2 sacks, Mitchell 2 touchdowns, Niners -2.5 plus 150. So or plus 15,000, so 150-1. I mean, I like the angle. I think if you're playing, I certainly think the Niners game is the game that if you're building bets, you can really get good value on a fairly like standard Niners win. Like Bosa having 2 sacks against Stafford and Mitchell running for 2 touchdowns in a game that they win by 3 points, where Stafford throws a pick seems not that far fetched. Not 150-1 far fetched. 150-1 is like when you take those like quarterback throws for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. No. So. Yeah. That seems pretty realistic. Rick Mustang says, I'm the distiller for Devil's River whiskey in San Antonio.
Yes, please.
I can send you my coffee bourbon, 80 proof cold brew. Rick. Yes. Yes, please. Drop us an email, podcast@sportsgamblingpodcast.com, podcast@sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Obviously, would love the free whiskey and would love to just talk whiskey with a real distiller. That would, and Devil's River sounds awesome. Yeah, it really does. So,
I mean, I will say the coffee infused whiskey bourbon stuff is pretty good.
Yeah,
in general,
any sort of like whiskey variation, I'm in.
I mean, we like coffee.
Yep, like whiskey,
like betting.
But yeah, Rick, please email us. I'm gonna.
Sean's very serious. Like, there's no. This is not a shtick.
No, I sent the email in the chat as well for you, Rick. Love to hear from you.
Yeah, and by the way, if you for those wondering if the Brian Dable, no shtick, I'm very excited about Brian Dable. I don't know. The internet seemed to think I was joking.
No, why would he be joking? Anyone but Joe Judge, and you're pretty excited.
Oh, he likes Danny Dimes. Let's go.
This is like when you're in a horrible relationship, and the next person you're with is all of a sudden the greatest person in the entire world.
Yeah,
just because it's not the person you were with last. All right. Any final thoughts here, Ryan, before we wrap things up?
Yeah, I mean, I would parting thoughts. Hey, go grab Mahomes to win the MVP of the next Super Bowl, because you're gonna get to tell all your friends at work about how you have the Chiefs at plus 175 to win the Super Bowl when they're laying 4.5 points against the Niners, a touchdown against the Niners. Let's go.
Let's go. All right. Thank you guys as always for tuning into the Sports Gambling Podcast. Appreciate you subscribing on the YouTube channel.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
We will be live after the late game, recapping the conference championships and early reactions to the Super Bowl line, and then the countdown to the big game begins. For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Sean, I like the sound of it. The Dable stable.
Kramer, let it ride.